When Diddy gave Jadakiss his name, the rumor was he was trying to start some old beef between Tupac and Jada Pinkett. But according to DMX, it was because Jada had alopecia and kissable lips. And on top of all of that, DMX warned Jay to stop doing freak-off parties with Diddy.
They selling our people short, man. Get this, wear this, have this, drive this. That's not what a 10 to 14-year-old child in the hood needs to hear, that this is what's important, because it's not what's important. That's what you get when you work hard.
I feel like he's not gold. I knew a different X than like the people. I knew him my whole life.
Right.
So I really knew him before he turned to the big iconic star, and he always kind of stayed like that.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Will you put my bag
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, will you put my bag
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping. I like that.
See, X was different than the Locks. Yeah. X came first. The Locks got on first, but X came first. X was the standard.
So DMX apparently had some serious warnings for Jadakiss about Diddy. And whatever he said was enough to make Jada keep his distance from Puff for good. Now, I won't spoil everything just yet, but remember that Drink Champs interview where Diddy was pressuring Fabulous to party with him, saying wild things like, why don't we party together? And calling men daddy? Yeah, well, go back and watch Jada's face during that whole exchange. He looked uncomfortable as hell, and he didn't even want to make eye contact with Diddy.
Yeah, we partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying? Did you miss me though? For real, because it seems like a thing with this birthday party.
Puff, man.
Man, but I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
Yeah, we partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying? Did you miss me though? For real.
And that reaction wasn't random. According to people close to DMX, he warned Jada a long time ago about the way Diddy operates behind the scenes. For years, fans have wondered what exactly DMX knew and why he felt the need to pull Jadakiss aside and give him that kind of heads up. But let's be real, DMX was never the type to bite his tongue. He had no problem calling out the industry, especially rappers he felt were selling their souls or letting executives like Diddy take them shopping. So let's break down why DMX was so serious about that warning, what the real story might be behind it, and how Jada managed to stay away from all this Diddy mess.
Throw it out there. Locks Amigos. He looked at you. He looked at you with the answer. Locks. That was the answer. All day.
These days, Jadakiss's name doesn't come up that much when people talk about Diddy and all the drama surrounding his trial. But what a lot of folks forget is that Jada and the Locks were some of the first to really stand up to Puff. And they didn't just talk about it, they actually took action. There was even a physical fight that ended in Styles P throwing a chair at Diddy and Jada threatening to throw a whole fridge. Now, to give you some context, before the Locks linked up with DMX and the Rough Riders, they were actually repping for Bad Boy Records. They first started making waves locally and got everyone's attention with a raw demo tape produced by Jazzo. After that, big labels started coming for them. Sheek Louch even said that they caught the eye of Suge Knight's Death Row, which was the biggest West Coast label at the time. Suge was so hyped on the Locks that he actually called Sheek's house himself, practically begging him to sign with him.
Mom house. Suge Knight called my mom house. That's the time I'm like, yo, I go in my mom room, get on the phone, kids go in the kitchen, use that phone. And we like, yo, what? And we, you know the long cords come around looking at each other like, yo, and Suge like, yo, I need y'all to come out here, man. It's hot. And yada, yada. I guess, before we signed with Puff. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, we had some bidding, God.
But with the whole East versus West feud heating up at the time, the Warlocks weren't about to switch sides, and that's why they decided to sign with Bad Boy in 1998. They landed a multi-album deal with Diddy, and of course, they were hyped. Jadakiss even shared in an interview that it was a no-brainer for them. And honestly, can you blame them? They felt like they hit the jackpot being part of the same team as Diddy and Biggie.
When we signed with Bad Boy, they was like the Chicago Bulls or the Lakers in the early 80s, you know what I mean? It was a no-brainer. Like they had the whole, Big Eye was there. The whole world was trying to get next to Big Eye. Was there. he embraced us, so that was a priceless feeling. You know what I mean? Being down with Diddy, the mogul of moguls, and being with Big, the lyricist of lyricists. That's a sandwich you don't mind being, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a sandwich you don't mind being a part of.
Just weeks after signing, the Lox were living a lifestyle way beyond anything they'd ever dreamed of. They later said that working with Diddy felt like being in a constant celebration. Sheik told Revolt in 2020, with Diddy, it felt like he was always celebrating something. But since this is Diddy we're talking about, you already know things weren't exactly smooth sailing behind the scenes. Puff made them change their name from the Warlocks to the Lox, and when Jadakiss later talked to Hip Hop DX about this, he explained they were just too naive at the time, and they didn't realize at first that Diddy was looking at them as only a product to sell. Jada said, just as we were about to sign, or maybe the week before we signed, he said, y'all the Lox, y'all figure it out, but no more Warlocks. He was like MJ in his prime, so everything he said was golden. We didn't know a lot about marketing, and he said Warlocks wasn't marketable. Anyway, Diddy quickly put the Lox on a feature run to boost their fame and grow their fan base. He had them collaborating with everyone from Mace to Mariah Carey, and it paid off. Say what you want, but Diddy definitely knew how to market his artists. Jadakiss also crafted that unforgettable verse on Diddy's It's All About the Benjamins, and their appearance on the track officially pushed them into the mainstream. Then in January 1998, the Lox dropped their debut album, Money, Power, and Respect. The album was a huge success, going platinum and reaching number 3 on the US Billboard 200. But here's where the story takes a turn. While everything looked smooth from the outside, there was a lot of tension behind the scenes because the Lox weren't happy with the direction Diddy was taking them. So in 1999, they launched their bold Let the Lox Go campaign, asking Diddy to release them from their contract so they could sign with Rough Riders. See, Bad Boy was all about radio-friendly dance tracks and flashy videos, and the Lox wanted to stick with what they knew best, gritty, no-nonsense rap.
We definitely had a meeting and sat down and said, yo, this could go right or left, and if it goes the wrong way, we can be shelved. We can never put an album out again. We could. Is a side to this that can be horrible for us.
At first, the Lox tried to make legal moves to get out of their contract, but despite all the attorneys and conference calls, Diddy refused to budge. And that's when the Lox decided to turn up the pressure and showed up at a New York concert wearing Let the Lox Go t-shirts. And this sparked a whole fan movement, with people rallying behind the slogan, Free the Lox.
I mean, the movement to get off Bad Boy was definitely a street movement. When I say that, I'm really talking about, I remember coming out of a Summer Jams and seeing Diddy's car surrounded by plaque carrying Free the Lox.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Yeah.
It was like a street movement, man.
Definitely. We was probably like
Oh, you was at that Summer Jam?
Yes.
Official, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for Puffy in the car with the doors locked and the windows up.
We was the first rebels, man. You didn't have a lot of guys going at like major people like that, man.
Exactly. And from the street where it hurts.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, man.
Gotta know where your power lies, man.
But when Diddy saw the Lox pushing back and turning the public against him, it only made him want to punish them even more. And that's when the Lox decided it was time to take things to the next level. The whole thing quickly escalated into a full-blown altercation, and Styles actually ended up throwing a chair at Diddy.
Do you remember the moment that you decided, like I know there's probably friction for a long time, but do you remember the moment you decided you needed to leave Bad Boy to move on to the next chapter?
It was probably after the argument with Diddy, when Styles threw the chair at Puff. You know what I mean? I ain't sure, but that was probably the last straw for that. But prior to that, we was, it was conversations amongst the group and things like that, things of that nature. But after that little incident happened, I think that's when we...
Hey, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Shawn Blazington Show. Make sure y'all do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button too. Without further ado, let's get into this video.
Decided to part ways.
That chair-throwing incident, along with the public pressure from the Free Lox campaign, ultimately pushed Diddy to release the Lox from their contract. And once they were free from Bad Boy, they signed with DMX's Rough Riders, which was the perfect fit for them, setting the stage for their iconic second album, We Are the Streets. But the Bad Boy mess didn't end there. Even though they felt more at home with their new label, the Lox still felt like Diddy owed them something. So they started throwing shade at Puff and Bad Boy in songs and interviews. And the real highlight came during their infamous talk with Angie Martinez on her radio radio show in November 2005. The Lox explained how Diddy still had almost half their publishing rights nearly 10 years after they left Bad Boy. And that was on top of charging them $3 million to buy out their contract.
A life ahead of you. Nobody never took nothing from me. Like, it's hard for me to look at Diddy. It's hard to go, like, to be phony about it and pull him out on stage at the Hova concert and do the Benjamins, and it's hard. Like, it's not.
Have you talked to him about
millions of dollars? This is my life. It's worth dying. It's worth killing over. Like, serious.
That's what people don't understand.
Don't say, Jada, you bugging. Or it's worth really killing. Like, sit down, think about it, pull it all on the table. It's really worth doing it over. Like, some things ain't worth it. That's one of the things that's worth it. So, me personally, I can't sleep sometimes. Like, I lose sleep. Like, I be ready to just black out. Like,
how long have you been? Have you had the conversations with Puff about trying to buy it back?
He's so much of a gangster with the paperwork. He'll tell you one thing, and then he'll tell his lawyer or people that represents him something else.
And then it never happened. And this is amazing. I mean,
and you've been trying to do this for years?
For years, and we on our, we've been quiet and all that. We on our 7th or 8th lawyer for this.
No security guard could stop.
How much money are we talking? How much money are we talking?
Off a skyscraper.
We
stainless steel, the double door joints.
We talking
no security.
I couldn't even tell you.
I mean, estimated you couldn't.
A couple mil.
A couple million?
I would say a couple mil.
I can't even say. I'm not even sure.
We paid a couple mil to get out. We paid almost $3 million to get out.
To get off Bad Boy.
Yeah, we had no $1 million budget. We did one album there, Inch. We did one album. We did Money, Power, Respect there.
This ain't for albums. This is for life.
This is for life, too.
This is why it's worth killing. It ain't like
when this contract's up.
So if this is for the rest of your life, if you make a song, you have the way it stands, he gets money no matter what.
If we make a Give It to Me or in the club, he's gonna make more off that than we are.
And people don't understand.
That's worth throwing it all out the window.
But get this, Diddy was listening to Angie's live show, so he decided to call in. And let's just say things went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Let's just go live.
Let's go.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey.
What's up?
What's up?
I mean,
Hey, yo, check this out, man. The last time y'all did this, man, y'all did the whole campaign, let the Lox go and all that. Y'all ain't want to be down with Bad Boy, so we let y'all go. Y'all want to be down with us, we let y'all go, we keep it moving. But to get on there and portray like somebody got to go and steal and rob and be shysting y'all, that ain't really correct, you know what I'm saying? And first of all, I'm at my office right now. I'm always accessible. Y'all ain't got to get on the radio and do certain tactics and do certain things to ever holler at me. Jadakiss, last time I saw you, I told you, let's get together, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? I told you I'm accessible. I said if anything don't come, if there's somebody standing in the way for you expressing yourself, or any of y'all expressing yourself, y'all can come get at me directly. You know what I'm saying? All that on the refrigerator and you going to nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? We businessmen. We all mature adults here. All that right there, I'm at my office. Y'all can sit on this interview with her and talk as long as y'all want to talk about it. Or you can take the invitation I gave you before. But it's not even getting there because of your get on the radio, whatever tactics. I ain't your enemy.
Dog, we just...
I ain't your enemy. You need to bang like that on cats that's coming at you. I ain't your enemy.
Just yesterday we got a note from your office saying you don't have no idea of none of this or none of nothing.
Just yesterday, your lawyer told us that.
I see you at the show backstage. You said find out what it was.
But don't sit here and portray like Puff took nothing from y'all.
What is it? What is it? What do you call it? What do you call it? What do you call it? And don't say we can come to your office or do none of that, because we can't do none of that. We can't handle it no other way but with lawyers, and you know that, so don't get on the radio and act like a tough guy or none of that.
Wait, you know how we can settle?
You acting tough.
I'm in my office, so why don't we stop talking on the radio?
Now, you want people to stop talking because you just don't want to know the truth, dog. We made one record with you, Money, Power, Respect. It's 10 years later, and you still got half of our publishing. Now, there's no way you can make it justifiable that you deserve half of our publishing.
You ain't saying nothing to my face. We just at the concert. You ain't saying nothing.
What are we gonna do? Shave it to your face? Get sued? What do you want us to do? We can't touch. It's not. We can't be violent. None of that. We can't even have.
You saying all this, dog? 2 years ago, levels in Miami.
Let's real recognize real. Y'all know where the office is at. There's a big sign on it. I'm gonna be here.
The whole National Guard's downstairs, dude. Cut it out, man.
I ain't gonna get caught up in this. I'm a grown-ass man, man.
You're a coward.
And I don't take nothing.
You're a thief, Bob.
Coward.
Don't say you're a thief.
Okay.
You're a
Come to the
thief.
office, man. Come to the office so we can straighten it out there,
Yo, how we just 3 guys you don't even mess with. You had your Ace Boom publishing.
You call me whatever you
You
want.
won't let his publishing
I'm at the
go.
office.
You don't let your man's publishing
We're gonna
go.
argue in front of New York. That's the way you want to
Do you own your man's publishing,
Nobody
dog?
did nothing to y'all, man.
Do you own your man's publishing?
New York could believe it or whatever. I don't
Do
really
you
care,
own your
man, 'cause
man's
I know
publishing?
that I can sleep good at night because I ain't never
You
did nothing to
can't-
y'all. And if y'all ever want
Dog, you had a whole bunch of artists that
don't like
I'm
us,
here.
Puffy.
That's it.
Dog, you had a bunch of artists whose careers never went
Hey, yo,
right with
dog.
you, dog.
Hey,
Be for real, dog.
I'm
Look
not
at the
gonna
list.
insult you, but
Look at your list.
career go after
We
you
don't
left
want to
Bad
be
Boy.
You
violent.
the artist that did the best for yourself. Look at your list, dog. Look at all the artists you dealt
I'm not a
with.
girl.
Look
I'm
at
not
the
into
situation
drugs,
they dealt with.
all that.
You know,
I'm not
12
the
not
artist,
happy
man.
with you gone. Faith
You
not
can
happy
talk-
with
you
you
can talk to them, or
gone.
they can
We
talk
not
back to
happy
me.
with you gone. They not happy with you
Wow.
gone.
All right,
Big
he's
gang.
hung up. He's gone. He's finished.
Shine jail.
But the Lox didn't let Diddy intimidate them, and Jada threatening to throw a whole refrigerator on Diddy actually did the trick. A month after that radio interview, Styles broke the news to Angie Martinez that Diddy officially gave them all their publishing back. And according to Jada, none of this would have gone down the way it did if it weren't for DMX inspiring them to stay true to themselves and never give up the fight.
I think he touched the people different than any other artist that ever did music. You can go watch him on the show. He's gonna bark, jump around. Right. Then he's gonna say a prayer and cry at the end of the show, a heartfelt prayer that he wrote. So I don't think you don't get that. You can go to one of the best shows you ever been to. You're not gonna get them different type of elements and then end it with a prayer.
What's the best advice he gave you?
Keep at it. We would call it the Rough Rider Studio. They call it the Pit, and we would just be, you have to go there every day, and some days you just be battling for hours. And I think steel sharpens skill, and that's what made us one of the toughest camps to deal with at the time, because anything a hooper stays in the gym.
That's right.
If you've got an old roof that you've been thinking about replacing, or you know it needs to be replaced soon, Roofing World is one of the top.
Artists got to stay in the studio, and don't let all the outside rhetoric get in you. Block your vision. You got to have tunnel vision. Somehow, no matter what's going on, you got to get to that studio every day. If God willing, and you able to, and everything will work itself out. All the other stuff will kind of weave itself out, but the main thing is go to the gym every day, go to the studio every day, and nobody will be able to touch you.
But that's not all. Some insiders have also claimed that DMX warned the Lox about Diddy early on, and he told them that the only way to stand up to a bully is to give them a taste of their own medicine. And DMX wasn't just all talk. He's made it clear in interviews that he's actually had to throw hands with label executives before. X revealed to Tim Westwood in a 2004 interview that he had to put someone in their place at his former label when they tried to play him.
These had the nerve to tell me one time, I said, yo, why I can't have two videos playing at the same time? Oh, because we don't want your videos to compete with each other. But then I turn on TV, I ain't gonna say no artist names, but they got 3 videos back to back.
Exactly.
I'm like, you feeding me
Exactly.
and you suck all crazy, man. What's wrong with yo? I had to punch one face up there, man. After that, I was like, I'm not going to the office no more.
Is that how it went down?
Yeah. Cause I don't, I'm a grown man, and I ain't got time to be playing no kid games, man. So once I see I'm not dealing with a man and he disrespects me, I'm gonna break his jaw.
And according to X, this happened because he was being pressured to do certain favors for label executives in exchange for more promotion for his music.
They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their
right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executives and it's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my music. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at the going to dinner with them, that, and you know, all that favor for a favor. Get down like that. Look, I give you the music, you give my money.
X wasn't the type to fold under that kind of pressure, and he had to let everyone know he wasn't about to be pushed around. And that warning apparently played a big part in how the Lox decided to fight back against Diddy.
Y'all sit still while I pour this Hennessy all over y'all areolas. It's a whole lot we gotta talk about as far as Jadakiss' relationship with Diddy. Even though they had all this beef with Puff back in the day, he was holding their contract, wouldn't let them get their publishing. The money wasn't looking right. They still managed, well, Jadakiss still managed to have a relationship with this man. I don't know about Styles, I don't know about Sheek Louch, but one thing for sure, Jadakiss been buddy-buddy with Diddy throughout the years. They're claiming that Diddy the one that gave him his name. DMX warned him, don't deal with Puff. Everybody else steered clear of Diddy except for Jadakiss. Now they're saying it's a possibility that Jadakiss could be brought up in the Diddy trial. I hope that's not the case, man, but people out here talking, he probably was in one of them freak. I hope Jadakiss wasn't in no freak off with nobody. But if he was, he a grown man. And people do freak off. He rapped about it plenty of times in the song. Why is it a crime for these brothers to have sexualities? Don't we all? I ain't condoning what they be doing, but it ain't against the law for people to want to get it on however they want to get it on, as long as it ain't no kids, no cripples, no olds, no people that's disabled or whatever, or that's not willing and able. If you doing something and they with it and it's consensual, I don't see what the problem is. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section. I ain't got nothing but love for y'all. Make sure y'all do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Yo, I'm gonna see y'all on my next video.